we have Dr. GK sir with us, and I would like to introduce and would like to speak few words about him. So, Dr. GK, very fondly called as GK or GK sir. His full name is Dr. Gopala Krishna or Dr. PS Gopala Krishna, and he's from Manchester, UK. Uh, he was born and brought up in India, and his uh, he was born in December 1970, and two parents, Sri Appaji and Srimati Ishwari Amma, in Chintala Graham village near Vishakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. He was born and brought up in a joint family with caring moral values and principles to serve humanity. He actually dreamt of a magic cure to cure all ailments with a single tablet with minimum cost. So he joined medical school in the year 1990, and he had completed his MBBS from Siddhartha Medical College, Vijayawada, and he had been practicing meditation for past 25 to 30 years, and he's the senior most pyramid master. He has set up a lot of medicine departments, and he has worked as a medical officer in for the Jarawa tribes in Andaman Islands, and he's also the founder and chairman of the Spiritual Tablet Research Foundation. So he formed the Pyramid Spiritual Tablet Research Foundation, and the concept of spiritual tablets was very unique to him, as he had specifically designed this tablet. So 350 tablets he had. Basically, it's not the actual the tablet we intake through our mouth, but actually the spiritual tablets he founded, and through these spiritual tablets, many people were healed across the globe. And the concept of spiritual tablets is unique. He successfully cured 10,000 cases using this concept. So he had established multiple spiritual pyramid healthcare centers, and nearly 500 eminent masters worked under this project of Dhyan Arogyam. And he also had established 6 Dhyan ashram centers. He is also very, he has dedicated himself to the cause of well-being of people at the physical, mental, and spiritual levels. And his approach has received many accolades from Southern India, Malaysia, Singapore, Andaman Islands, USA, and UK. And he had been associated with pyramids, and through pyramids and Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement, he had become a part of this PSSM movement with the help of Spiritual Tablets Research Foundation, and which is totally non-religious, non-cult, non-profit, and it's a voluntary organization with a common mission to spread Anapanasati meditation, vegetarianism, and pyramid power, which helps everyone on that physical, mental, and intellectual health and well-being. And he met Patri sir in during 1990, where he came across many other gurus uh, like Paul Vijay Kumar, and who had been very helpful in bringing across some meditation fundamentals, which was cleared by him. And also when he spoke to Dr. Newton, so that time also his many other he actually got so much clarity when he spoke to Dr. Newton as well. So I would like to welcome him, and also would like to speak more about the Spiritual Tablet Research Foundation. But very warm welcome, Dr. GK sir. Thank you so much for joining. Sorry I took so much time, but this is my first time, so I'm a little nervous. But very warm welcome, sir, and very good morning or good afternoon, sir. I believe there it is afternoon in UK.
Yeah, it's afternoon. Yeah. So thank you very much, Soniji, for nice and detailed introduction. First of all, let me express my deepest gratitude and pranams to Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji and Swarnamala Patri Madam for such a marvelous dedication and ardent efforts to start as a one-man army, and then today across the globe in so many countries, and lakhs and crores of people are into vegetarianism and meditation. And to my knowledge, more than 10,000 living Patrijis are there who are working on the same mission, I can say, and one among those masters, I can say. And I'm fortunate to work with Patri sir in person for a period of more than 16 years. And after that, I was on my own journey in different places. And coming to the today's topic and the great program going on in USA, I am very happy for this great initiative. So no doubt US has got its own position in the globe. So a lot of potential to bring eminent masters. So my interaction with USA masters happened in 2017 and 18 consecutively. 2 years I came, and then I have traveled across 30 states and conducted a lot of sessions. And I'm very happy to meet all the masters through this platform. And so currently I'm in Manchester. Since 3 years I'm in Europe. And apart from my academic career, I am trying to spread meditation through the PMC channels in Europe. So it is Patriji's vision and the universe wish to spread meditation through digital means. That is what, in fact, you are doing. It's a very easy way, rather than bringing all the people, especially in the modern times and especially the post-COVID time. It is best to reach out people through the PMC channels and the digital means through whatever the online programs we are conducting. And similarly, here we are trying to establish one after all the PMC channels. And apart from this, conducting spiritual programs, that is Ananda Brahma, the Enjoyment Science Academy, is one of the greatest vision by Patri sir. Because happiness is godliness. That is the only term we can understand, Ananda Brahma. So if one considered his life, the way to enlightenment is living happy all the time. So here the happiness means it's not that one has to live happily in their own way, which is a kind of temporary happiness that all the common man with a common frequency, they will operate. Patri sir has very clearly given the guidelines, the basic guidelines, that one has to indulge in 3 kinds of happinesses. Happiness through material means, and happiness through cultural or arts, through arts, and happiness through soul, means the spiritual means. So Vishayanandam, Bhajananandam, and Brahmanandam. So the Vishayanandam means the material means. Whatever the activity today, we are taking all the pleasures in day-to-day life. Those are all belongs to, we can say, the second chakra, the Swadhisthana. Because if you look into the who am I, to understand the I concept, what exactly I am, In the second chakra level, in Swadhisthana, it is divided into two halves. One is Prakriti and the other is Purusha. So here the Purusha means the inner essence, the consciousness. And it is not like just male and female. The word Purusha, it looks like the male, but in fact here the Purusha means the internal essence, the consciousness. And Prakriti means the nature, the external factor. So here, these are two poles. So these two poles has to merge. So whenever the internal consciousness and the external precipitating factor both unites, a conjugation happens, a sex happens. That automatically gives a gratification, and through that, a pinch of consciousness expansion will happen, and that gives us a momentary happiness or bliss. We cannot call it as bliss, but it is a momentary happiness. So all these five senses, through the eyes and ears and taste especially. So we always seek for the gratification in the external environment. And whenever we meet that one, a conjugation happens and that gives us happiness. In general, if you take a common man who is confined to only the material means, for them, that is the only way to be happy in day-to-day life. So that's why they always run behind these material happinesses. What are the clubs, pubs, and food, and all these happinesses comes under only the material happiness, which is confined to Swadhisthana chakra. Because the soul wants its consciousness expansion all the time. That is the true nature of the soul. And they don't know the other ways of, getting into that happiness means and consciousness expansion. So they will confine themselves only through this Swadhisthana. So they indulge in the material happiness and the bodily happinesses and a little bit into mental happiness, which is all we can say momentary and temporary. Of course, it is important as long as we are in this body, the physical system, because we are grounded and we are living in this earth plane. I'm not saying that is wrong, but it is only a 33% out of 100. And then coming to the musical happiness or happiness through cultural means is Bhajananandam. So this is like learning an art or music. There are around 18 types of happinesses we need to consider. There are so many ways of happiness through cultural means. So when we learn a particular art, through that, we can get into that next level of happiness. So almost it can come until Vishuddha. So doing some service to the fellow beings or masters who are there around us, people around us, and learning an art, that gives a happiness as well. And then above that, happiness through spiritual means the soulful bliss. This is the real crux of the real happiness lesson. So without indulging into spirituality, without doing meditation, one cannot fulfill the soul needs. Because the real happiness and the permanent happiness is laid in the soulfulness, the blissfulness. So by observing breath every day equal to the age minutes, if we do meditation, actual meditation practice, meditation cannot be a contemplation or a music or an art or being in nature. Those are all different, those are all different means of happinesses in different chakra level. And when we are indulging into actual meditation, that is observing breath and sitting silently, with the closed eyes. Once we are closing the eyes means then the charma chakshu, the physical eyes are closed, and then the mano chakshu, the mental eye will open. When we are observing the breath, breath is the doorway to close this mano chakshu, the mental eye. So the mental eye is closed. And then the energy, the snake has to pass through the divine eye, the third eye, that is Ajna Chakra. That is where the Divi Chakshu, the third eye, opens. Through that, we connect to the whole universe, and we connect to the alternate realities and frequencies and dimensions which are beyond the earth plane. Then we prepare ourselves to enter into that blissful happiness, which is the true happiness or a permanent one, which cannot be compared with the other happinesses. So, closing the eyes and opening the divine eye, after closing the second door, that mano chakshu, the thoughts, is the real means which we are supposed to reach. So here we need to consider all these three happinesses as 33% and 33%, and the toppest one is the meditation. And the other way around you can take, first one has to work with meditation, and once they improve their consciousness and to the third eye level, and if they are able to tap the wisdom from the universe, and if they are able to connect and if they understand the true purpose in life, and then automatically we can focus on the cultural means, and through the cultural means we can get into that real happiness on the earth, and then a little bit into the material happinesses. A standard story usually we'll hear, if you take a jar, a glass jar, and if you start pouring the pebbles in it, and it is filled, and then again you can pour sand in it, and then finally you can pour milk or water, whatever, still it absorbs. Every time we see that it is full, but still you can pour a little bit further. At the end, it has chance to absorb the water into that sand. So similarly, here we can, once you become seniors, so the senior sadhakas, day by day, once they absorb into the true spirituality, you can understand that the pebbles, the spirituality takes the pebbles place, and the cultural happiness take the sand place, and the material happiness takes the water place. That is how we are supposed to be. That's why Patrisar always says we need a pinch of pickle and a loaf of bread is more than sufficient for this body. And clearly we can see after doing an intense sadhana, our physical needs, especially for the food, automatically will decrease. Most of the people after doing 3 years or 5 years of meditation, they will say half of my, the food requirement has reduced. Now I am taking very little. Sometimes they will skip a meal as well. Why? Initially, we are operating at Swadhisthana Chakra. We know only material means. So that's why for the gratification sake, for expansion of the little consciousness sake, we are just wandering around the Swadhisthana, looking into only material happinesses with this physical body. After coming into spirituality, after coming into meditation, we are operating in Ajna, where we are making our mind completely empty, and we are connecting to the totality through which we are invoking that blissful happiness, the true happiness and the permanent happiness. So that gives an immense satisfaction, and slowly we understand that we are in the transformation times. The whole earth is transforming in its own way, like all the yugas that we have surpassed on this earth, like the Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, so many times has passed before Christ and after Christ. So similarly, now the earth is into transformation times. Because we are here in this junction, once you identify yourself as a spiritual being, and if you are operating with the universe, then definitely we understand that the earth is burning in its own way. So we need to work at our individual level and with the community to make it much better. So for that purpose, the spiritual science service may be a part of our life. And then we try to fill ourselves completely with the spiritual means of happinesses. That may be a spiritual teaching, or giving an oration, or a book, writing a book, or constructing a pyramid, or providing a service to the community, conducting this kind of great Dhyana Maha Yajnams. Whatever the means, whatever comes to our doorstep as a part of service, that we will take up. That will automatically, in return, it gives a great blissful happiness. Whatever you give, that you will get in return. So day by day, the equation changes. Whatever the place that earlier the pebbles took as a material happiness, the Vishyanandam, now day by day, it will be replaced with the spiritual means, the soulful means or blissful means, with the permanent happiness, Atmanandam, Brahmanandam. And then in between, the goddess of Saraswati, the arts, is always there, a transition. So as long as we are in this physical system, we need to remember, whenever a person, a master or whomsoever, balances all these three in a rational way, happiness through material means, and happiness through culture and art, and then happiness through the soulful bliss, then only we can say we are complete and we are happy. So with this great understanding given by Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji, the Enjoyment Science Academy, Ananda Brahma, is established. Initially he coined it, but later there is a pause for 10 years because the earth is not ready to take it. First he want to work on the vegetarianism and then teaching only meditation. That gives automatic happiness. This is what he used to say. After 2012, we started sincerely working on that and spreading happiness and making the people to understand happiness is godliness. Ananda Brahma. Brahma means the creation. Ananda means happiness. Happiness is godliness. The true purpose of coming onto the earth is to live happy always. But because we don't know what are all the types of happinesses that are existing and how to reach that, and apart from that, in other way, people are indulged in a lot of sinful activity by killing the animals and they don't know what to eat. So that we need to address that as well. So now people are understanding the value of plant-based diet and considering the spirituality into life, that middle path as given by Buddha, both the family and Sangha and self, all these things has to be catered in an equal manner. Then only we can say we are completely happy. So, in a nutshell, all the spiritual masters should look into the cultural means of happiness, because now we have a lot of concentration, memory, and focused. So it becomes very easy for us to learn a particular art. So we have to look into it very seriously. And all the artists who are there, who thinks that the art itself is meditation, no, it is wrong. Art cannot be meditation. Art is only art, which gives happiness through cultural means. Definitely it is more than material happiness, but it cannot reach up to the blissful happiness. So they has to realize that the actual meditation is something different, through which we can connect to the universe and we can understand what we are basically, understanding the true purpose of life through third eye. So that's why they have to spend some time doing actual meditation to understand their position in the whole universe. In this big picture, they have to understand where exactly they sat. Then only they can contribute in a much better way. So this inter-exchange, so the spiritual master should become artist and the artist should become spiritual masters. The material happiness anyway, it is there, and people will pull us to give it and take it all the time. That is what the whole world is filled with today. So there is no much means to say about it. And of course, over a period of time, because the pebbles and sand is already filled the whole show, the leftover is only 5% of water, the material happiness anyway we can take here and there, one coffee and one loaf of bread. There are masters who lived without food. Even I did a 30 days of no food experiment ordered by Patriji, 5 doctors, in the year 1996, October, November. Almost 1 month we are in fasting. We used to take only water. And then we used to do meditation for 4 hours in a day, and sleep is only 4 hours. Because whenever you don't take the unwanted food, and if you are into spiritual means, 4 hours meditation and 4 hours sleep, and rest of the time you used to work as usual in the hospital and field and every activity. And there is no death at all. And I am there in front of you today. So at most I lost around 6 kgs in my body, but the mind was completely into a blissful state. And after that, my way of looking into the food is completely changed. One can do such kind of experiments on the body. There are a lot of people, even in front of us, Jas Muhin, a great spiritual master, my pranams to her. She's not eating since last 15 years. There are 1 lakh followers across the globe. So if someone talks about proteins, carbohydrates, and nutrients, which are necessary for the body, it is utter stupidity. Of course, as a medical doctor, it is my, it is a better fact which I have to reveal openly. But after going through a lot of workouts and literature and seeing a lot of people, yogis, I can say confidently, food is only a little part of the life. It is not the entire means. Here the food means, I'm not saying about only the physical food, all the 5 senses, whatever the food we are giving, it is only part of the life. And the real happiness comes only through the spiritual means, the permanent happiness, I can say. So once we fill with that permanent happiness through the blissful means, through meditation and spiritual journey, and then, of course, the rest of the things will sit in its own place. And with this, I want to conclude today's topic, happiness is godliness, and try to invite all these 3 kinds of happinesses into life and keep slots for this. And if you work on it, and definitely we can achieve, and the life becomes very, perfect and happy and godly way. Thank you. Thank you very much once again for all the ES masters for taking a great step. And so this Dhyana Mahachakra of USA definitely gives a great energy, and all your sankalpa to bring a lot of spiritual healthcare centers and spiritual cultural units and pyramid centers across USA. And definitely this energy will be a precursor to the upcoming physical Dhyana Mahayajna in Kartal in Hyderabad. And I am happy to announce that I am attending Dhyana Mahachakra this year again in Hyderabad, 25 and 26, and visiting USA as well. And I request Soni madam to give those details. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, GK sir. It had been a very enlightening session, and thank you for sharing your wisdom.